So I got involved with Black Parent Initiative. I was pregnant with my daughter London, and I was homeless for about 6 months. And my DHS worker referred me to them. And I got a text from Aly'ce a few days later, and she texted me and told me she'd like to come out and meet me. And so she came to my house and met me about 4 days before I had my daughter.
She needed housing, so I'm like, well, whenever you're available, we can meet. We sat down and we met at her sister's house. I still remember, she's like, her belly was like this big. So we sat at the table at her sister's house and really came up with her outcome goals.
She told me that they could help me get an apartment. I was like, oh, okay, whatever, sure. And so they did, and so much more.
So I would pick Jazzsmin up at 10 in the morning, sometimes 11. We would literally drive up and down 122nd, 167th. I think we've seen all of Portland, Oregon. Like, we were like, okay, let's do North Portland first, and just drive up for rent, and just like literally hop out. Hey, this is the spill. I did a letter of character for her. We connected her with Teen Insights, which helps pay rent, and then go to group. And then after group, I was able to take her home. So we would spend literally all day, from 10 to 9 sometimes, depending on how group went out.
I went to trainings with them, or like weekly meetings, and got to interact with the other moms. And they helped build my confidence and taught me how to budget and just life skills that they don't teach you in school. And I loved it. I was in the house all day because I had a baby, you know, and so it was a chance for me to get out and interact with people and not have to worry about my baby being sick or out of my sight or out of my care or anything like that. Aly'ce is amazing. I love her. She's truly like my best friend. I can call Aly'ce at 4 o'clock in the morning and I know she'll answer. Like, I've never had that with anybody. They truly love and care about me.
Jazzsmin is like a sister to me. I see her as a little sister. I could really relate to a lot of the struggles she had. She struggled with, social anxiety, which I struggled with. She struggled with depression, which I've struggled with. She has, family members who passed. Times where she felt like people didn't believe in her, or just the stigma that's attached to being a Black woman. Like, I sat there and watched her deal with housing discrimination. I watched people say things like, oh, well, she should give her daughter up, or maybe she should go live in a shelter. So I really was able to connect with that, because I've had people say the same thing, like, oh, Aly'ce, you're not gonna make it, you're not gonna graduate, or you have a bad attitude, or, you seem hopeless. So seeing someone who reminded me so much of myself, and knowing that regardless of her situation, that she had the power to overcome, and I could help her, like, use her voice and encourage and empower her to say, this is who I am, just made it a connection I can't really explain.
BPI actually helped me start my own business, and so I've changed completely. Like, I was still young and crazy back then. They showed me, like, I don't have to be young and crazy anymore. I'm a mom and I can present myself better and I can be better than what I was, and I didn't think that I could. And they taught me that I can be, and I will be, and I am. I'm literally not even the same person that I was back then. And I needed that kind of guidance in my life that my parents couldn't give me and my siblings couldn't give me. They cared for me. They genuinely care. I see myself having a very bright future just because of the building blocks that Black Parent Initiative built up for me. I'm only 21, and I'm doing a lot better than a lot of other 21-year-olds out in my generation right now. And I have a child on top of it. So I feel like we're gonna be fine. We're gonna be just fine.